My wife asked for a divorce after her affair weekend. Now I'm hitting the gym, while she's addicted, unemployed, and watching her life burn. I am 32 male, married to my wife, 27 female, for almost 6 years now. We've been together for 8 years and 3 months, and we've lived together for 7 of those years. In my opinion, it was always great between us. I truly felt like we were the perfect couple. We both had good jobs, our own cars, stable finances, and even bought a house together 5 years ago. Then, in February 2022, I unexpectedly lost my mother to a heart attack. It hit me hard, and the months that followed were incredibly rough, not just for me but also for my wife, who was very close to my mom. And by rough, I mean really rough. In 6 months, we only went out twice. Most of the time, we just stayed home, relaxing on the couch and watching TV. I wasn't happy, understandably, but I thought we'd get through it. D-Day, as people call it, was 5 weeks ago. My wife went out drinking with 3 male colleagues from work at a place just 5 minutes from our house. I was like, okay, cool, but told her I'd be going to bed soon. Around 3:30 a.m., she came home, with the 3 guys. I knew all of them. She said they were heading to the city to keep partying. I didn't like it, but I couldn't stop her. Everything closes at 4 a.m., and since it's only a 15-minute drive back, I expected her home shortly after. But she didn't come back until 5:30 a.m. That's when my suspicions began. Up until that night, I had never once doubted her loyalty. Then, 4 weeks ago, she left the house on a Sunday saying she was going to a carnival with her mom. I didn't buy it, but what could I do? She even left without saying goodbye while I was in the shower. Later that day when she came back, she walked into the house crying. My first instinct was to hold her and ask, "Honey, what happened? What's wrong?" Her very first words were, "I want a divorce." We were both emotional and we talked for a bit. I directly asked if she cheated. She said no. She claimed she'd been unhappy for a long time, and that's why she wanted out. But she had never mentioned anything being wrong with our marriage before, so her announcement completely blindsided me. After our conversation, she left and moved in with her mom. 4 days later, I saw her again. We have a dog, and neither of us could care for him properly on our own, especially not at her mom's house, so the dog is staying with her aunt now. When I saw her that day, I confronted her about cheating again. This time, she admitted it. She told me she had been cheating the entire week, from the night she went drinking until the day she left. She said she thinks she's in love with him. I asked what was so special about this guy, and all she said was, "We just have a good connection, a spark," and that was it. She also mentioned she feels like she's having some kind of midlife crisis. She doesn't know what she wants in life or what to do anymore. Honestly, I think she's losing it. She dyed her hair purple out of nowhere and signed up for motorcycle lessons. It just doesn't feel like her. The first week, or maybe 2, I tried to fix things between us, if that's the right word, but she refused. Every serious message I sent got ignored. If I sent something casual, I'd get a short, cold reply. She's been arrogant, distant, just not herself. I honestly don't recognize her anymore. Her entire personality shifted in just a week. She treats me like I never mattered, as if I'm some disposable piece of trash. I don't understand it. Is this her way of emotionally detaching? Is she pushing her problems aside to avoid dealing with guilt? Or has she truly changed that much, that fast? I just can't wrap my head around it. Sure, falling in love can feel magical, but what happens when her honeymoon phase with this guy fades? What happens when reality kicks in? I've been dealing with a storm of emotions: anger, sadness, confusion. I deeply resent her for cheating and feel incredibly let down. But at the same time, I know that the foundation of our marriage was always strong. It's been 5 weeks since D-Day. She hasn't filed for divorce, and neither have I. I can't prove it, but I'm almost certain she's still seeing the man she betrayed me with. And now, I'm stuck between 2 choices. Try to save a marriage that's barely breathing, or finally let it die. At this moment, I don't even know if I care whether we get back together or go through with the divorce. I honestly don't know what to do. If I file for divorce now, I might regret rushing it later. But I also can't keep living in this sort of limbo, technically still married, while she's already walked away. To clarify, during the first 4 days after she left, I wasn't even sure whether she had cheated or not, and those were by far the worst days. During that time, I felt incredibly guilty, like maybe I had done something wrong, but after she admitted to cheating, those feelings started to fade. Even though I might hold some responsibility in how things turned out, the collapse of our marriage is completely on her. She never showed any signs of being unhappy. She always seemed content. Honestly, she could win an Oscar for acting. She never mentioned anything being wrong or suggested anything needed to change. And on top of that, she cheated, and continues to cheat. It's over. At this point, I don't believe there's a way back. I don't even miss her. Sure, sometimes I miss who we were, the bond, the partnership, but this version of her? I feel almost sorry for the next guy whose heart she's probably going to break too. Surprisingly, I'm handling my mom's death fairly well. Of course, I've still got a lot on my plate emotionally, but I was finally climbing out of that dark place. I wanted to start going out again, have drinks, enjoy life, ride my motorcycle. And then, she cheated and knocked me right back into the hole, so to speak. But I'll be okay with time. I have to admit, I'm really not looking forward to the holidays. No mom, no wife. My dad's now alone after 40 years of marriage. But we'll get through it. Life keeps going. Thankfully, I've got an amazing sister and a solid group of friends, people I've known for over 20 years. I'm nowhere near ready to dive back into single life again, but I'll admit, part of me is a little excited. It's been over 8 years since I dated anyone. Over 8 years since I could just go out without checking in with a partner. I've hit rock bottom this year, but I truly believe good times are still ahead. One Redditor made a fair point. We probably married too young. I was 26, and she was 21. I haven't changed all that much in those years, but maybe she has. Maybe she suppressed how she was feeling for a long time. She even admitted it herself. She feels like she's having a midlife crisis. Her words, not mine. To go a bit deeper into our relationship, shared interests, hobbies, personality traits, I only mentioned that we had a stable life in my original post. I didn't go into detail because I didn't think it mattered much. But here it is. We both liked gaming, although we rarely played together. I'm currently into Age of Empires 4 on PC, while she would be playing The Witcher on PS4. We loved watching good shows on Netflix, especially after my mom passed. Even before that, we always preferred staying in for a movie rather than going out drinking. Occasionally, we did go out. Cinema, pool, dinner, maybe once or twice a month. We both loved motorcycles. I already had my license and bike. She didn't have hers, but she loved riding on the back with me. Her dad used to take her on bike rides when she was younger, so maybe that was part of the appeal. Now apparently, she wants her own license and bike, something I didn't see coming. We also liked spending time with family. Every other Sunday we'd visit either her mom and stepdad, her dad and stepmom, or my dad. We enjoyed driving out to nature spots with our dog and going for walks in the forest. As for personality traits, I loved how impulsive she could be. Although now, I guess she was too impulsive. I'm the kind of guy who overthinks everything, whether we should buy something, how it'll impact our budget, etc. She would just do it, book the vacation I was hesitating on, or make a spontaneous purchase. I actually admired that about her. On that front, we were complete opposites, but I liked it. She also had a great sense of humor. Honestly, we had, maybe still have, an incredible connection when it comes to laughter. Our humor really clicked. We shared the same dry, corny sense of humor, and always had fun together. I loved how honest and straightforward she used to be, until everything started falling apart. She used to tell me exactly how she felt, what she liked, what she didn't. I remember, about 4 years ago, I got hooked on a video game. At the time, I didn't even realize I was doing anything wrong, but after a few weeks, she sat me down and told me I wasn't giving her enough attention, that I needed to be more present in the relationship. And she was right. So I cut the gaming down to almost nothing. Man, I loved everything about her. The way she spoke, the way she walked, her laugh, her looks. She had this incredible figure that I adored. And when she sneezed, it was always this rapid-fire burst of 8 to 10 sneezes in a row. It was silly, but I loved it. But now, all those feelings I had, or maybe still have, are fading fast. As for our sex life, it wasn't all that active. I'd say we averaged about twice a month since getting married. In my opinion, it was always good. I can't say for sure how she felt, especially now. We both always climaxed, unless she faked it, but I don't think she did. That said, the sex itself wasn't particularly exciting. We'd usually stick to the same 3 or 4 positions and that was it. So yesterday I made some calls. In the Netherlands, we have something called a mediator, someone who handles every aspect of divorce, legal, financial, emotional. It's a kind of all-in-one neutral party to help both spouses organize the process. Today, we had our first session with this mediator. Unfortunately, my soon-to-be ex's car broke down, so I had to pick her up. Yeah, I really had to, because for the mediation process to work, both of us have to be present. The meeting itself went about as I expected. We both shared our feelings and agreed on wanting a divorce. The cheating was never brought up. The mediator is neutral and doesn't take sides. And in the Netherlands, cheating has no legal weight. She still has the same rights as if she hadn't cheated. So I didn't see the point in bringing it up. After the mediator left, we sat at the table together, barely talking. The only noise came from our cats running around. After a few minutes of silence, I asked her, "Do you have anything left to say?" She just replied, "No." So I said, "All right then, I think you can go now. I don't want you here." She asked, "Can you take me home?" I said, "No. How you get home is your own problem. I'm not driving 30 minutes after everything." She looked a bit emotional. I think she expected me to drive her, like I always used to. In the past, I did everything for her. After that, she called her mom, who agreed to pick her up in about an hour. She left the house saying, "I'm going to take a walk until my mom gets here." As she walked out, she still looked visibly hurt and emotional. I'm staying strong, though. Despite everything, I can still sense some strange behavior from her. I truly believe she's still caught in the affair fog, and even though part of me still loves the version of her I once knew, I'm now acting as if she means nothing to me. And honestly, right now, she really doesn't. She simply isn't the woman I once loved and stayed loyal to. I have a question, but it needs some background. I worked as a driver at a transport company, let's call it Supertrans, for 11 years. About 4 months ago, I left that job and started working at a new transport company. I helped my wife get a job at Supertrans around 1.5 years ago. She works in the office there. I used to be a driver. I also know her affair partner. He works in the warehouse at Supertrans. Because I spent over a decade working there, I know pretty much everyone at that company, especially in the office. I got along with everyone, and I was best friends with a few of the dispatch guys. As far as I know, my former co-workers, who are still her current co-workers, know we're getting divorced. But to my knowledge, none of them know that she's having or had an affair with the guy from the warehouse. One of her direct co-workers, who sits at the desk right next to her, is a 32-year-old gay guy. He was also there the night she cheated. I'll call him Thomas. He left early that night, but he was one of my favorite people at her office, and I know he liked me a lot too. My wife is currently on vacation and will return to work next Monday. I know Thomas genuinely cares about me and wants the best for me. Right now, I'm seriously considering messaging him to explain what happened, everything, and tell him about the affair. Of course, I'd be doing it partly to warn him. I want him to know that my wife has absolutely no moral compass and can't be trusted. Thomas works beside her every single day. I feel like he deserves to know what kind of person she really is. I also plan to tell him who the affair partner is, since he was out with them that night my wife cheated. I want him to understand what kind of scumbag her affair partner is too. And yeah, I'm fully aware this might come across as some kind of revenge. Honestly, maybe it is. This woman has dragged me through hell. Just a few weeks ago, I would have loved hearing that she was having a miserable day at work because all her co-workers found out about the affair. They all liked me. I've known most of them for over a decade, and besides, I get to decide who I tell about her infidelity and who I don't. So yeah, I guess this isn't really a question of should I tell Thomas. I've already made up my mind. I just want to hear what you all think, why I should or shouldn't go through with it. You've all been incredibly supportive through this. I'm mentally drained, but surprisingly, I'm doing better than I ever expected I would after only 6 weeks. That said, I do have a question about my soon-to-be ex-wife's current behavior. Is it normal for someone in her situation to start treating everyone around them like trash? Obviously, I'm being treated like garbage, with zero respect, as if I was the world's worst husband. She's now telling people she's been unhappy for years, which I believe is complete nonsense. But honestly, I don't even care what she does anymore. She's destroying her own life, not mine. But the part that hurts? She's starting to affect other people too. My dad sent her one of the sweetest messages I've ever seen him write in his life. She didn't even respond. Not a simple, "thank you," nothing. After my mom passed in February, she would regularly take my dad to a local amusement park. They both had season passes and went fairly often. He really loved her. And now, I see him aging by the hour. It breaks my heart. And my wife? She left him on red. She also said she wanted to stay very close with my younger sister, but they haven't spoken in weeks. Then there's her best friend, our mutual friend, who was supposed to spend today with her. They planned a girls' day out. Her best friend sent her several messages yesterday asking if the plans were still on. No reply. She didn't even read the messages. This morning, same thing. No answer. No response. No call. Her BFF tried calling again, even sent one more message asking if they were still meeting. Still nothing. But her WhatsApp status shows she's been online since those messages, so she definitely saw them. Her best friend ended up crying on the couch all day. She even took the day off work just to hang out with her, and got completely ghosted. Is this kind of behavior normal during an affair fog, or is this something else entirely? Again, I'm done with her. I don't care what she does anymore. But seeing her treat her best friend, someone who's always been there for her, like this? That's just sad. Heartbreaking even. And while I'm thinking about it, another thing comes to mind, though I already know the answer. My wife is going around telling people that we separated because we grew apart, and that she's been unhappy for years. I guess that's standard cheater behavior. Rewrite the story, sugarcoat the truth, and leave out the part where you fell in love with someone else while still married. There's something else I almost left out, something that now feels more important than I realized at the time. Her best friend, who was also a close mutual friend of ours, lived with us for 6 months, from November 2021 to April 2022. She had just escaped an abusive relationship and needed a place to stay, so we took her in. Fast forward to now, when I finally told my wife I supported her decision to leave. I said I wouldn't stand in the way of her happiness anymore, and that I wanted a clean, respectful divorce. That conversation marked a turning point, for both of us, but especially for me. We had a spare room in our house, so when her best friend needed a place to stay, we took her in. My wife and her BFF would talk about everything, including our relationship and even our sex life. I still talk to her BFF almost every day, and she's been incredibly kind and transparent with me. I asked her if there was ever any indication, anything at all, that my wife was unhappy with me for a long time. Her answer was clear. None of it was true. Not once did my wife ever mention feeling unhappy in the relationship, and that's from someone who she confided in about everything. So either my soon-to-be ex-wife is just outright lying now, maybe to justify cheating and walking away from our marriage, or she kept all her feelings bottled up and never shared them with anyone. Honestly, I don't know which is worse, but in my experience, she never showed signs of being unhappy, and her best friend agrees. Thank you again to everyone who's supported me through this. I genuinely wouldn't be in the place I am now without it. I really hope karma catches up with her, sooner rather than later. And for the record, whenever someone asks me why we're getting divorced, I tell the truth. Just yesterday, a female friend showed me a text conversation between her and my wife. It went something like, "Oh my God, honey, is it true you and your husband are separated?" "Yes, sadly it's true." "Oh no, what happened?" "Well, we just grew apart over the years and had different goals in life. We decided to end it." Needless to say, I corrected the record immediately. I told our friend the truth. My wife cheated on me, claimed she fell in love and left me for another man. Everyone I've told has been shocked. No one, including myself, would have ever believed she was capable of doing something like this. I'll probably make a new post in a few weeks, but for now, I'm doing okay. Once I accepted that she was out there living her life without me, I started doing the same. I've spoken to her a few more times. The conclusion seems to be that she did still love me, but things weren't fun anymore. Not exactly surprising considering my mom passed away unexpectedly just months earlier. She now says she's in love with the affair partner, but with no strings attached, whatever that means. She admitted that she wasn't unhappy with me, just unhappy with life in general. So here's what I believe really happened. She cheated, caught feelings for her affair partner, and then left me for him. Once I understood that, I made the conscious decision to let her go and focus on myself. I genuinely don't care what she's doing anymore, or whether she ever comes back. I'm okay, either way. Work's been going great. I joined a gym and have been hitting it 3 times a week. My muscles are sore, but it feels good. I've also been reconnecting with this amazing girl I've known since childhood. We're just friends, nothing more, but it's been refreshing to have someone to talk to, especially someone who understands what I'm going through. She lost her father last year, so we can even relate on that level too. So yeah, I'm doing okay. As for the divorce, we had to gather a bunch of documents, which we've already sent to the mediator. We're just waiting to hear back so we can schedule the next meeting and continue the process. I've already made my decision. Divorce is happening. Whether my soon-to-be ex changes her mind or not, the marriage is over. period. We're signing the divorce papers and making it official 4 days from now. This is going to be a longer update since I haven't posted anything in around 4 months. I made some mistakes along the way, but I also made choices that helped me reclaim my power and rebuild my self-respect. Now 5 months after everything fell apart, I hardly think about the cheating anymore. I'm not affected by it the way I once was. To anyone reading this who's in pain, please believe me, it does get better. Time is on your side. In the beginning, I made all the classic mistakes. I begged, pleaded, got angry, felt helpless, as if I'd lost the woman I once knew. And honestly, I had, because she wasn't that person anymore. The emotional chaos dragged on for 2 months. Grief, confusion, everything. But then I made a choice. I told her I was done unraveling. I'd spent enough time drowning in the what-ifs. I accepted that she was gone and started rebuilding myself. That shift, right there, changed everything. Weeks later, we spoke briefly. It was just after my first holidays without her. I admitted it had been tough, but I got through it. She nodded. The silence that followed was heavy, packed with everything we didn't have the courage to say. After a pause, she said she had to go, and just like that, she was gone again. That brief visit left me confused for a day or two, but I didn't let it derail me. I reminded myself that I've been doing better, mentally, physically, emotionally, and I wasn't about to let a 5-minute emotional pop-in pull me back into her storm. Yes, at one point I was still open to talking to her, maybe even seeing if there was any future left for us, but I was also clear that I couldn't promise anything. I haven't contacted her in 3 months, not for casual conversation, not about the relationship. The only times I've reached out were strictly about practical matters, the divorce, finances, and the mutual house. And during those 3 months, I haven't just been sitting around. I'm 32 now, and for the first time in my life, I started going to the gym to build muscle. I've always been on the leaner side, but for the last 3 months, I've been training 4 times a week, disciplined, consistent, and not only am I seeing noticeable gains in my physique, but I'm also feeling better mentally. Initially, I started working out just to distract myself, but now, 3 months in, the gym has become a part of my routine and my healing process. I look stronger, I feel stronger, and my confidence is coming back in a way I never expected. So here's a piece of advice for anyone going through a rough patch. Hit the gym. It works, physically and mentally. As for our house, I spoke to the bank and I'm able to take on a larger mortgage. I'll need to pay my ex about $65K to buy out her share, but I can manage that. Once everything is signed and paid, I'll be the sole owner of the house, which is worth around $300K. Sure, paying her $65K stings, but in the long run, it's worth it to own a valuable property and move on with peace of mind. Meanwhile, she doesn't have her own place anymore. Officially, she's living with her mom again, but I know she's also staying at the affair partner's house quite often. How do I know this? We have a mutual friend, not someone we hang out with regularly, but someone I stay in touch with. According to them, my ex jumped straight into a relationship with AP and moved in emotionally, if not fully physically. I try not to think about it too much, but sometimes the mind wanders. I guess technically I could start calling AP her boyfriend now, but I won't. He was her affair partner first, and that's how I'll continue referring to him. And speaking of him, karma seems to be catching up fast. When they first got together 5 months ago, everything seemed peachy, but now, tables are turning. AP is at home, struggling with depression. He's also out of a job. I know this for a fact because the mutual friend shared screenshots of messages between him and my ex-wife. Even back when this all first happened, I always felt I was better than him. Not in an arrogant way, but morally, character-wise. I knew I had more integrity. And now, I'm certain. He's proving to be everything I already suspected. Weak, unreliable, and toxic. And here's the kicker. He brought something into her life that could completely ruin her. He introduced her to hard drugs. I know this through that same mutual friend. I haven't confronted her about it, and I probably won't. If she wants to destroy her own life, that's her choice. But from what I hear, it's going downhill fast. I truly believe she's struggling, maybe even regretting her decisions. I hadn't spoken to her or seen her over the holidays, not on Christmas, not on New Year's. But about a week into January 2023, she unexpectedly texted me, "Are you home? Can I come by?" She came over, and the visit was short, barely 5 minutes. She told me she had spent Christmas Day alone, crying. She asked how my holidays were. I told her they were okay, but not great. After all, I lost my mom last year, and this was my first Christmas without her. This was the first holiday season without my mom, so of course it was just okay and not exactly joyful. But I told my ex I was doing great, and truthfully, I am. So yeah, her visit felt strange. The only thing I can make of it is that maybe, just maybe, she regrets what she did. Only time will tell. I also spoke with my ex's mom. She actually called me after New Year's to wish me a happy new year and all the best. I didn't expect that call at all, but it was nice to hear from her. After all, she was like family for the past 8 years. During that conversation, she told me my ex-wife hasn't been doing all that well lately. Apparently, she's been sad and crying a lot, grieving the end of our marriage. She even told her mom, "I wish it didn't have to be like this." To me, that sounds like regret, like she's second-guessing everything. But if that's the case, she's the only one who can reach out and take action. And honestly, I don't see that happening anymore. The only power I have left is to give her exactly what she asked for, a divorce, and walk away. And that's exactly what I've done. I'm stepping out of her life, granting the divorce, and working on becoming the best version of myself, day by day. Sorry for the long post, but I think this is everything I needed to get off my chest. In 4 days, we'll sign the divorce papers. And while I truly am doing great, mentally, physically, I'm still human. I still find myself mourning our marriage from time to time. I still feel a twinge of sadness when I think about who my ex-wife used to be. It hurts to see what she's become. But I've also accepted that it's completely out of my control now, and no longer my responsibility. Let me end this by saying thank you, once again, to everyone in this community. Your support has meant the world to me. Without your help, I honestly don't think I'd be where I am now, both mentally and physically. Thank you.